Hello, and welcome to the final installment of Novus AEterno's Introduction to the Dyne System. Today I will be talking about intelligence. Intelligence is probably my favorite aspect of the game, because, like with diplomacy, it's one of those aspects that simply doesn't really exist in traditional MMO, or traditional RTSs. In a very real way, you can scout the enemy base, find information, and counter it. However, that's just an aspect of normal RTSs. In this game, it can be your role. While military generals are busy playing with their toys and their warfare, while the merchants are counting their coffers of useless money, you are playing Game of Thrones. You decide the fate of empires. You decide by your movements who wins and who loses. On the first level, information players can discover information that other people might not be able to figure out. You can scan planets to look for strategic resources. You can figure out where their construction colony is, or which planets are defended. Furthermore, you can also begin to infiltrate the enemy forces and discover how their troops are allied. See, one of the things that we expect is that people will have specific skins or specific configurations for specific ships. As an information player, you can crack the code of some of the more lazier players and determine what exactly they bring to the table. The element of surprise when it comes to configuration of ships and modules and tactics in this game is extremely valuable, and so having that information ahead of time gives you, or whoever you sell that information to, a great advantage. However, all that is simple stuff. What gets really interesting is manipulation of empires. Alliances are naturally capped, and as we've talked about before, and also as we talked about in the diplomacy section, players can form organizations that we call coalitions that are very, very powerful, however, fairly loosely connected. Each alliance in and of themselves is a tight brotherhood of players. However, the alliances, the inter-alliance relationship, there exist cracks, and as an intelligence player, you can exploit those cracks. One of the techniques that you can do to use this is that you can actually steal people's signal codes, their confirmation numbers. In starships and in whatnot, you can have codes that identify you as who you are, because otherwise you're just this big floating hulk in space. So by getting buddy-buddy with certain people, by talking to them, you might be able to decrypt their code. And then from that point on, until they go through the works of securing their systems, you can now spoof that you're there, that you are them. You can move freely within their empire. And, more importantly, you can ambush an enemy. So, what that means is that you can literally appear to other players as one of their allies, when in fact you are an enemy. This is more than just a spy character, because remember, this isn't like a special ship type or whatever. Once you have their codes, you have their codes. And until they realize that there's a problem and continually try to fix it, then you're them. Likewise, intelligence players are going to be very valuable to coalitions in order to counter such things. Keep an eye on things. Keep up on current events. So, as I was saying, while military people can have their fun in the sun, really, in the end, it's intelligence players that are going to decide the fate of battles in Novus AEterno. I hope you enjoyed this introduction, and I will see you in the live streams and in space.